Ladies and gentlemen, can we please give the Harmony Brass Band a round of applause? We can do that better. They've been doing well. Please, let's give them a round of applause. And on this note, I'd like to pray by indulgence to please let us turn the pages of the brochure for this scientific meeting to page 1. If you have a copy, kindly turn to page 1. And as I am doing that, can we please rise as we take the national anthem of our dear nation. We can please take our seat. May God bless our dear country, Nigeria. May it indeed be a land where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, may our dear country be blessed. Once again, another round of applause for Nigeria. At this juncture, I'm beginning to get scared because it appears that people in this hall are not Nigerians. Please, another round of applause for Nigeria. It's getting better. Hopefully, before we finish this conference and scientific meeting, people will be more encouraged to clap for Nigeria. Don't worry, it will get better. Thank you very much once again. The band, the Harmony Band, thank you so much for helping us do that. I needed to make us turn to the page where the national anthem is written so that there will not be confusion, because I could see on our faces when I said the national anthem, people were confused. Which one exactly are we to take? Particularly the younger people. The older people were used to these before the one we left not too long ago. Like I said before, many of our guests have arrived much earlier, and we are grateful to them for keeping to time. And to kickstart, I would like to recognize all the important personalities in the house. Permit me to lay this protocol. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of KWARA State, Malam Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of KWARA State, in person of Mr. Kayode Alabi, who is ably represented here today by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environment, none other than Dr. Aina Abubakar. The Honorable Commissioner for Health, KWARA State, Dr. Amina Ahmed El Imam, who has been represented here today by Dr. Musliu Adewale Ayotunde Ogunaya, the DMST, KWARA State Ministry of Health. Thank you very much, sir. Ushers, please, can you help me bring to the high table the representative of the Deputy Governor? Dr. Ayla Abubakar is seated right there. Can you follow my hand? Yes. Please help me bring him to the high table. Also, the representative of the Honorable Commissioner for Health, seated close to where exactly Dr. Odunaya is also there. Please, can we make them welcome as they come to this high table? The royal father of the day. Welcome, sir. Who's also a medical elder, Alhaji Dr. Aliu Yaya, the Emir of Shonda, who is unavoidably absent here today. The chairman of today's occasion, who is the Vice Chancellor of the Better by Far University, Professor Wahab Olashupo Egbewole, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. I don't think he's here yet. When he comes in, we'll recognize him. The president of an association, still recognizing our distinguished guests, I think it's appropriate to bring to the podium, to the high table, the #1 psychiatrist in Nigeria, no other person but Professor Taiwo James Opindo. A round of applause. I thought you have taken tea break. So what are we using the energy for? Can we clap for our president, Professor Taiwo James Opindo? I also like to bring to the high table the second in command to the president and the person that oversees the AGSM. No other person, she's wearing many caps. And she's also a brand new CMD of Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Enugu, Fundazi Chuko Nneka Naogu. It's a round of applause. I don't know what is wrong with this audience. Are we burnt out? We are just started. Welcome, man. We also have the chairman of BOT, the board of trustee of the Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria. No other person but Professor Jude Uhainu. A round of applause. A round of applause for him. Please, Chairman BOT, Professor Jude Uhainu. Okay, so when he comes in, we'll safely bring him to the high table. The LSC chairman of this great occasion is no other person but Professor Peter Omoni Ajibe. Please come to the high table, sir. Let's clap for him. We also have a co-chair for this occasion and this program,
The co-chair is Professor Alfred Professor Makojola. A round of applause, please. Professor Makojola. Our host. What's the name? The host of this great event is no other person but Professor Yusuf Abdullah Kasiva, the CMD of University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital, and is ably represented by the Chairman Medical Advisory Committee, Professor Benjamin. Please, a round of applause. We know that beyond the Department of Behavioral Sciences of the UITH, we also have another co-host, an institution that is making waves within KWARA states. And that is no other institution but the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Budwega, Professor Isan, the CMD of that great institution. Please, a round of applause. It appears people don't come in KWARA. I hope there's no problem. We should clap. This is our event. Today, we have one of our great mentor, teacher, and who is also a medical elder. Is going to take us through the Professor Ayoability lecture. And that person is no other person, a one-time registrar of National Postgraduate Medical College, a one-time president of the Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria, and a one-time president of MDCAM National. He wears many caps. He's no other person but Professor Orodo Idofia. A round of applause. I thought the ladies would clap better. You're welcome, sir. We are expecting the representative of the Vice Chancellor. I think the person will join us very soon. We've been told that there's an accreditation program ongoing. I also want the executives of the Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria to please fill in the front, to fill in the spaces in front. We have Dr. Blessing. Please just stand up for recognition and take the right place. Dr. Blessing Aminatu Utei. Please, Dr. Ismail, Assistant Secretary General. Please, wave your hand wherever you are. Dr. Haji Haveka, Intern Auditor. Please raise your hand. Please clap for him. Dr. N.L.K. Obi, What you have here, yes, is doing his job. This Professor Judah Henry, the chairman BT coming up to the high table. Dr. Ojotunde Mercy Ferguson, Early Career Secretaries Coordinator. And we also have in the audience Professor Taiwo Lati Sheyi, immediate past president of our great association. Please come to the front, sir. And we also have those, I'm not sure they're online now. We have Joyce Omariba, ex-official 2. We have Professor Bala Allah, our editor-in-chief. We have Dr. Jibril Abdulmalik. And Henry Bay, the Secretary General, Dr. Abayo Belajide. Thank you. I also want to recognize the NOC subcommittee heads. We have Mrs. APN-AGSM. Please, let's stand for recognition. The chairman, logistics and medical outreach. And we can attest that she has done brilliantly well. Dr. ABO Shaw, chairman, media and publicity. You can see that we are on social media. Everything is being publicized. Professor M.F. Tunde Ayimide, chairman, scientific conference. Please stand up for recognition. We have Dr. D. Sulaiman, chairman, security. Your security is guaranteed. All federal security apparatus of the states are here. So we thank you for that. Dr. Mrs. Eti Kuranga, fundraising and finance. Please let's clap for these people. They have done brilliantly well. Dr. Tajuddin Abiola, chairman, transportation. His Royal Highness about Dr. G.T. Olarewaju Oninaja of Inaja Alaro, the fundraising co-chair. Dr. Mrs. J.D. Ogunmodede, chairman, feeding and refreshment. She has told us that we will be well fed before we leave this place. Dr. Mrs. S.A. Adepoju, chairperson, registration. Dr. Hem Ademola, chairman, accommodation, and Dr. O. Oladeji, chairman, programs and protocol. Thank you. So we also need to recognize some of our medical elders that are here. We have Professor Olatunji Alao Abiodun. Is actually the convener of the local organizing committee. Please, let's come for PIF for being the convener of this wonderful AGSM. We will continue to recognize the person who has been putting all these things together, running the errands, the LSC secretary, Dr. Mumin Olaito Salu. Please let's clap for him. So we just had the representative of the Vice Chancellor, who is also the Provost, College of Medicine, University of Ilorin, Professor B.S. Alabi. Welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I know that I will have struggled with some of the names you were pronouncing with ease, but because you are familiar with the house, you were able to do it just the right way. Please, another round of applause for Dr. Abayomi Olajide, the Secretary General of this wonderful Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria. He said a while ago that the representative of the chairman of this occasion, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ilorin, walked in and he made his way right to the high table. Please, ladies and gentlemen, can you welcome once again the Provost of College of Earth Sciences, University of Ilorin, Professor B.S. Alabi, also representing the Vice Chancellor today. Thank you so much, sir, for finding time to be here. Talking about recognizing important dignitaries, it's important to always give kudos to the elders. The younger ones are able to go this far because they have shoulders of certain elders to stand upon. And that is why we are able to see father today. First on this list, one of our fathers who has been recognized, the father of psychiatry department. Please, as a product of this wonderful man, permit me to recognize him once again, and please give him a round of applause. Professor Abiodun, you're welcome, sir. You're most welcome, sir. I'll do justice to everybody in the course of this event, so forgive me if I've not mentioned the name, but I promise that before we end, I'll do justice to that. I also like to recognize in our midst this morning, when I saw him walk in this morning, I was so elated, I had to let Daddy know that I'm a classmate of one of his daughters. Please, can we make welcome Professor Adelekon? You're welcome, sir. You're most welcome, sir. Also in our midst this morning, almost afternoon, if not a little past noon, we have in our midst a retired but not tired, a member of the House. Please make welcome Brigadier General Benga Okulate, retired. You're welcome, sir. You're most welcome, sir. We also have people whom we have invited and they have honored our invitation. One of such persons is the chairman of Nigeria Medical Association, KWARA State Branch. Today, because of all that assignment, is ably represented by his next on the list of executives, and that's the vice chairman one of KWARA State Branch of Nigeria Medical Association. Please make welcome Dr. Amide Musa. You should please, ushers, please help me usher him to this first row of seats. Thank you. We also have in the house today. Earlier in the day, I asked people, I said, I know this man. He's my teacher. He taught me pediatrics. Is there something new? And then I was told that he's a friend of the house. Certain things were achieved while this man, an erudite scholar, a professor of pediatrics, somebody who has keen interest in pediatric nephrology, while he was provost. Certain things were achieved by the pediatric department. One of such is today, certain seeds that were planted during his time are beginning to grow and beginning to bear fruit. And today in psychiatry, they have a standalone psychiatric exam in University of Ilorin. Can we please give a round of applause to that? And University of Ilorin is one of the few places where psychiatry rotation is 8 weeks, not 2 weeks, not 4 weeks, not 6 weeks, but 8 weeks. Please make welcome Professor Timothy Adedoyin, a professor of pediatrics. You're welcome, sir. Usually in medical practice, there are people that ensure that so
when you have people in the two fingers business doing MC, he's a gynecologist, but he's doing it well. A round of applause for Dr. Julius, please. So you can see doctors are multi-talented, and we can see skills on display. Recognizing other members of BOT, Board of Trustees, we have in the House, Brigadier General Benga Okulate. Please, let's clap for him. He's a general that is retired but not tired. We have a poet in our midst also, the person of Professor Aino, who has been an editor of the Association Journal for many years. Thank you for coming, sir. We also have an erudite scholar among us, somebody who is young and dynamic, making waves in the center of excellence. No other person but Professor Abiodun Adewiye, the Provost, College of Medicine, Lagos State University. You're welcome, sir. So we need to move on with the program, and we need to we'll still recognize other persons as they come. And so without much ado, I want to bring to the podium Professor B.O. Ajiboye to give us his welcome address as the LOC chairman of this August occasion. Thank you. Professor.
The Deputy Governor, ably represented this morning by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environmental Science, Dr. Ayaba, the Commissioner for Health, ably represented by Dr. Odunai, the chairman of this occasion, VC of University of Ilorin, ably represented by our own provost, the provost of College of Health Science, University of Ilorin, Professor B.S. Alabi, the president of APN, Professor James Obindo, the vice president of APN, Dr. Mrs. Nogu, and our teachers, our mentors, the chairman, board of trustee, Professor Jude O'Hary, the CMD, University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital, ably represented by Professor Benjamin, the MD of the Federal Psychiatric Hospital, Budu Eba, our own Professor B.S. Isa, and colleague departments, Dr. Alfred Makijola, all other protocol duly observed, but I must also recognize my teachers, my mentors who are seated in the audience. On behalf of the local organizing committee, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the opening ceremony of the 55th Annual General and Scientific Meetings of the Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria, here in KWARA State. This year's AGSM holds special significance as it marks the first time in 28 years that KWARA State has hosted this prestigious event. We are grateful that several members of the LOC who contributed to the organization of this event in 1996 are present with us today, lending continuity and depth to our gathering. The theme for this year's AGSM, prioritizing mental health needs of Nigerians in a depressed economy, an urgent call for integrated, comprehensive, and sustainable intervention, reflects our collective recognition of the urgent need for tailored mental health solutions in Nigeria. Our sub-themes, including upscaling mental health services in Nigeria through general hospital and community psychiatry, addressing mental health gap using digital intervention, opportunities and barriers, and the role of artificial intelligence in the practice of psychiatry. We inspire a wealth of scientific dialogue and the exchange of ideas. The local organizing committee has worked tirelessly to ensure this AGSM is both memorable and impactful. Our programs include scientific oral presentations, symposia on pressing issues, and exhibition by pharmaceutical companies. Additionally, this event offers abundant opportunity for networking, mentorship, and peer engagement. I encourage each of us to explore KWARA State. Immerse yourself in its rich cultural heritage and enjoy the peaceful beauty of our state of harmony. KWARA State is known as the state of harmony. Once again, I welcome and wish you an enriching and enjoyable stay in the Ilorin, KWARA State. Thank you. The local organizing committee chairman, he said that Ilorin hosted 28 years ago. I believe that those who were here 28 years ago would agree with me that Ilorin town has changed significantly. Things are different here now. But please take our time to make sure that you explore the Emirate city of Ilorin before going back, because I assure you the next time you'll be coming back, we'll be close to the level of the big cities in the world. We want to take the next address, and it's from none other than the #1 psychiatrist in Nigeria. Please make welcome, sirs and ma'ams, the president of this wonderful association for his address as the chief host. You're welcome, sir. To the established protocol, but I must recognize our mentor and artist, Henry, who call him Jute. Other medical elders, teachers, senior dignitaries, I recognize you all just to make sure that we do not waste too much time. I totally align myself with what has been established. On behalf of the executive committee and the local organizing committee, I welcome every one of you to this 55th Annual General and Scientific Meeting, AGSM, of the Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria, APN, the peace hall of the peace hotels and suites in the ancient city of Ilorin, which is tagged KWARA 24. Somebody who just whispered to me that 28 years ago, this hotel was not in existence. And the fact that we have this hotel now, and as wonderful as it looks, will tell us that Ilorin has surely advanced. Following a successful Canon 2023 in Maiduguri, we thank God Almighty for sparing our lives, granting us good health, and also have made it possible for us to reconvene in Ilorin in 2024. We are gathered again to network, to socialize, and showcase new trends in mental health research. This is another opportunity to broaden our knowledge through the scientific presentations, reunite with colleagues and acquaintances we lost contact with, particularly some of us who are Japa and are now Japada, like Professor Adeleko. We welcome you back. Network with people from diverse places and disciplines, and unwind while we savor the beauty and we experience the culture of the people in the ancient city of Ilorin. So many activities have been outlined by the LOC to make this AGSM a memorable one for all attendees who are attending both virtually and physically. The activities have been kickstarted really by the pre-conference activity, like the medical outreach to the KWARA Polytechnic. We paid courtesy calls, and we went to Buduegba yesterday, and we saw so many things that have been done, particularly the impact of Senator Dr. Oloriegbe. What he started, he actually continued, despite not back then in the Senate. He has continued to offer them significant support. I was also told that the ambulance was actually supplied by him. The drug unit was actually built, and he will continue to furnish it, but I'm sure he will continue the support despite not being in the Senate. So we appreciate it. Can we put a round of applause for him? And this is a message to everyone that whatsoever we do, while we occupy those positions, posterity will always remember us. He has done well, and we know that by virtue of doing this, more will be done. We had a corporate hotel reception yesterday also. Other activities shall include various scientific paper presentation, which has started this morning, many symposia, as the LOC chairman has said, and of course, we will have our annual general meeting, and the lecture will be presented then. The annual lecture will also be presented this morning by no other person but the erudite, retired but not tired, ready to fire anytime from all cylinders, always smiling. Professor Owedo Odofia. The theme and sub-theme of this year's event are not only art, but are the needed impetus to drive our quest to advance the cause of mental health and this landscape in our country, with the main theme being prioritizing the mental health needs of Nigerians in a depressed economy, an urgent call for integrated, comprehensive, and sustainable intervention. And the three sub-teams of scaling mental health services in Nigeria with the general medical hospitals and community psychiatry, addressing mental health gap using digital intervention. Part of that was actually showcased by my space and my time before this opening ceremony. And of course, the role of artificial intelligence in the practice of psychiatry. You will agree with me that these are well-chosen topics to help explain the state of affairs in the mental health landscape and assist the mental health practitioners marry the state of mental health care with the challenging economic and security situations in the country. One of the symposia will be on the implementation of the Mental Health Act 2021, which is yet to be implemented at the national level. It is my belief that pushing for the domestication at the state level without significant move at the national level is like jumping the gun in a relay race. Other symposia will include biological psychiatry symposium, community psychiatry symposium, which is tagged the Dr. Ayorede Memorial Lecture, and will also include the inauguration of a yearly award. Early career symposium will also be there. There will also be many product presentations. Agreeably, some milestones achievement have been recorded in the last 2 years of the establishment of the mental health program in the Department of Public Health of the Federal Ministry of Health. It is our collective opinion that more could have been done, more could have been achieved if and only if the Mental Health Act of 2021 had been implemented by the Federal Ministry of Health. This act replaced the Lunacy Act of 1958 and is indeed a significant milestone after more than 30 years of failed efforts. This monumental milestone achievement has listed Nigerians among nations with a more humane law which protects the rights and the privilege of those with mental health conditions. However, 2 years down the line, it is still awaiting implementation. The establishment of the Department of Mental Health Services, the Mental Health Fund, and the Mental Health Assessment Committee are the low-hanging fruits, which can easily be done. Following the establishment of these services, we can then follow up with the domestication of the act at various states of the Federation. There is a symposium on these implementation bottleneck. Likewise, the drive for the full implementation of Mental Health Policy 2023, which again emphasized the integration of mental health care into primary health care, programmatic care, such as the cancer care, neglected tropical disease, HIV care, etc., and emphasizing the community approach to care will have been better pursued if we have a full-fledged Department of Mental Health Services with dedicated budget line. Other notable achievement is the collaboration of APN with mental health program and other stakeholders in the production of a strategic framework for the decriminalization of attempted suicide and the inauguration of the technical working group for the decriminalization of attempted suicide in the country. Mental health is yet to be accorded the needed attention by the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Example can be made of Canada, where they realize the importance of mental health and they have a full-fledged functional Ministry of Health and Addiction, while mental health in Nigeria is still a program under the Department of Public Health in the Federal Ministry of Health. One other area needing attention is the budgetary allocation to health and by extension, the mental health. For this year, what we had was less than 6%, which significantly fell short of the Abuja Declaration of 2021, where a minimum of 15% was meant to be allocated to health in countries. We ask, which way Nigeria? The Japa syndrome has largely depleted the mental health practitioner workforce in the country also. Less than 200 psychiatrists are attending to the mental health needs of well over 200 million Nigerians. This tide needs to be stemmed and reversed as the remaining mental health practitioners are overworked and they are also poorly remunerated. I can assure you that you will be well furnished with the needed information. You will be entertained with various governments of palatable dishes. opportuned to network and make new acquaintances. And at the same time, you will have enough time to see the ancient town of Ilorin with many tourist centers. All work and no play. They say makes Abdullah, makes Jack, makes Dauda a dull boy. Let me end this welcome address by using the opportunity to commend the LOC, headed by Professor Peter Ajiboye and his versatile secretary, Dr. Saliu Olaitan, for piloting the affairs of the LOC effectively to deliver these wonderful members of the LOC for the unity that we see exhibited throughout this. I hereby welcome everybody to this AGSM. I declare, long live Association of Psychiatrists, long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Please, can we give a standing ovation, a round of applause for the number one person, the number one psychiatrist in Nigeria. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful speech. We can please take our seat. Thank you so much. I will continue in the program. Somebody blew my cover a while ago. I thought I would just come here and go without anybody knowing so many things about me. But now that that is done, there are a few things I observed about the wonderful people in this hall today. While we started to learn medicine and surgery, we went around all the other specialties. And when it's time for ward round, we will actually go around the patients. But when I got to these wonderful people who are having their event today, I discovered that the patients actually come to them. They are unique people. Please a round of applause for yourself once again. It is important to also recognize some people who are here today before we quickly take the opening remarks of the chairman of the occasion. We also have in the house today the Deputy Chairman, Medical Advisory Committee, Clinicals. Clinicals, he came in with the representative of the Chief Medical Director distinguished members of the National Hospital of APN,
my teachers here, principally Professor Biodun, when we were medical students here, we used to pray to meet Baba. Baba was very benign and is still very benign. Baba will say, kí làwọn ọmọ yìí bá ṣáàjẹ́ kó wọ́n lọ. Thank you very much, sir. Equally so, Professor Adeneka, it's good to see you again, sir. You was a great teacher too. The VC would have loved to be here. In fact, I was given this assignment at the Ilorin Airport. My colleague, the provost of Lasuko, Professor Abebe, we were on the same flight. And while I was trying to get my visa out, BS, you have to represent me with your people. I have to be in Abuja. So he sends his apology. The MC spoke about my predecessor, Professor Oti Adedoyin, that he fought for stand-alone for psychiatry. When he left, some people wanted to turn the apple cart. So myself and the days, we stood our ground that in public service, you cannot reverse, and that the psychiatry deserve to stand alone. Part of the argument is that with the university be able to pay for examiners and others. To God be the glory, the BC didn't complain that they cannot fund the psychiatry as stand alone. The director of nursing UNK School Complex, the deputy to her, who is wife of the Dean of Clinical, other distinguished members. On behalf of Professor W. Senior Advocate of Nigeria, I welcome you all to this meeting, the 55th edition. The last time it was 28 years ago. So Ilorin has grown in leaps and bounds. The theme of today is prioritizing mental health needs of Nigeria in a depressed economy, an urgent call for integrated, comprehensive, and sustainable intervention. With the sub-theme, 3 are listed. I want to say that I've been associated with psychiatrists for over 2.5 decades. When I was doing my residency in Lut, I discovered that the core room of psychiatry is always locked. So I found a way to smuggle myself inside. And one day, one professor, Tom, I won't mention his name, is of blessed memory. He said, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm in ENT, sir." "Where did you train?" "Ilorin." Because it's Ilorin, so I will allow you, anytime you want to use the room, get permission, and then you can be using it when our residents don't sleep in. May soul rest in peace. Equally so, one of your keynote other speaker of today, Professor Ahmed, we call him Gabs. He's my man. He's based in Canada. So I also have fellowship of psychiatry of National College, or is it West Africa now, by proxy. So I want to wish us all a very wonderful listening. Thank you very much. I will be leaving shortly because we have a college academic board. And then I have to go in another 15, 20 minutes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks for him. You can see that a lot of people are associated with us. We are making progress. We want the representative of the deputy governor to also admonish us and to declare the program open so that we can start.
Thank you very much, sir. The representative of the Honorable Commissioner for Health, the president of the Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria, The chairman of today's occasion will be represented, the LOC chairman, and most of my teachers present here, representative of the CMD as well. A host of my teachers, both on the high table and on in the main audience. I'd like to say good afternoon to us. By virtue of Providence here, to represent His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of KWARA State, and Kayode Alabi, who for several reasons has requested that I should be here to represent him. I made them realize that I'm no longer in Ministry of Health as the Permanent Secretary, but in Ministry of Environment. He made a comment that where we are going, you will know how relevant the environment is to your people. And lo and behold, apart from being among my teachers, in the environment, when the let me put it this way in Chima Chebe's language, when the center can no longer hold, eventually what everybody say is that don't let them enter the society. But we are there in the society, we are there in the environment, trying to calm them down and returning them back to you. We hope we continue to do a good job. And you will also continue to stabilize them for us. Let me also mention before I complete that assignment that the theme of the annual general meeting is arts. For several reasons, those of us who interact with the communities, we know. These are times that if you have experienced this in the past, maybe we will say during the 80s or mid-90s, maybe around the time you came here for the 1996 conference. Well, we thought we had sailed through, trying to define a new nation, but we are going through another time. In the words of His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, he says, "I love Kabali." And I want to rehearse it. And I think it's suiting, even the psychiatrist, that we need to continue to reassure and give a lot of confidence. Those of us in government, we know that every day we work assiduously to ensure that people feel the effect of governance and that people tell good stories that this administration is doing it right, this administration is getting it right. It may take some time, we will get there. On behalf of His Excellency, Madam Abdurrahman Abdrazak, the people-loving governor of KWARA State, I would like to declare this program open. The 2024 version of the annual general meeting, tagged KWARA 2024. I pray that the psychiatrists in Nigeria will continue to live and meet the aspirations of setting up the organization, and we will continue to impact positively in the lives of every citizen of Nigeria. We welcome you to KWARA State, and like it's been said, we see that His Excellency the Governor is doing a lot of turnaround in KWARA State, trying to make our cities look clean, look beautiful.
Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Oh, two. One, two. Oh, two. Oh. Two. One, two. Hello, hello, hello.
Ọ̀rẹ́ ló lẹgbẹ́. Ọ̀rẹ́ ló lẹgbẹ́. Ṣe lọ́wọ́ Èdùà.
Oh.
Ọ̀rẹ́ ló lẹgbẹ́. Ọ̀rẹ́ ló wà kò lè bàjẹ́. Ṣe lọ́wọ́ Èdùà. Ìmùlẹ̀ wá tó lórílẹ̀ àforí owó. Ìmùlẹ̀ wá. Ìmùlẹ̀ wá tó lórílẹ̀ àforí owó. Tó lórílẹ̀ àforí owó. Ìmùlẹ̀ wá. Ìmùlẹ̀ wá tó lórílẹ̀ àforí owó. Ẹ̀rẹ̀bẹ̀ lá. Ẹ̀rẹ̀bẹ̀ lá. A ò máa yáwó fi ṣe ò láwù ẹ̀rẹ̀bẹ̀. Ẹ̀rẹ̀bẹ̀ láwù. A ò máa yáwó fi ṣe ò láwù ẹ̀rẹ̀bẹ̀. Ẹ̀rẹ̀bẹ̀ láwù. A ò máa yáwó fi ṣe ò láwù ẹ̀rẹ̀bẹ̀. Ẹ̀rẹ̀bẹ̀ láwù. Àṣẹ. 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 Àṣẹ.
Hello.
Àṣẹ. Àṣẹ. Àṣẹ.
Thank you. Oh. Hello, hello. Hello. One, two, one, two. Báyìí sọ̀rọ̀ sí wọn sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí. Fẹ́ ń gbọ́ báyìí. Ẹ ń gbọ́ báyìí. Two. One, two. Wọ́n ló jáde báyìí sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí. One, two, one, two. Two, one, one, two.
The Deputy Governor, ably represented by Dr. Ayla, all the distinguished guests on the high table, many of whom are my teachers, all the medical elders in the audience, ladies and gentlemen, I've been asked to read the citation of an imposing, impressive, and inspiring influence on psychiatry in West Africa. And I must admit before we begin that it's a Herculean task to introduce someone who is an orator himself. So in some way, this feels like a post-part 2 oral exam. This is about the only opportunity that I may have to boldly ask a medical elder to rise to his feet. So I will maximize it. May I humbly request that Professor Udofia should rise as we read his citation. Professor Owedoho Udofia is the man before you. Ladies and gentlemen, medical school for young Owedo Udofia was for 6 years, but it was 6 years with hard labor. Believe it or not, in his day, there was no strike, little distractions, and so Owedoho Udofia graduated from the medical school in 6 years without a hassle. He had spent the last several evenings in med school in the casualty preparing for a house job position in ABUTH. The rumor in those days was that doing house job in ABU was the way to go. Because if you went to any other medical school, you'll be running around in the laboratory trying to get some results in southern Nigeria. House job positions in those days were easily available, and he submitted an application, watch this, on a Friday. He had a quick discussion with the secretary of the Institute of Health. Whether that discussion was an interview or not is hard to tell. It appeared to be an informal discussion, but somehow by Monday he had an appointment letter, and by Tuesday he was told, in fact, he was placed on call, and all of this was well within 30 days of leaving the medical school in 1979. If medical school was hard labor, then house job in ABUTH Zaria, specifically the Tudun Wada Hospital in Zaria, was specifically exhausting. It was complete with real weekend calls, the kind that you do from Friday afternoon, having worked from Friday morning, and then you do that all the way to Monday morning. So he took his place at the lowest rung of the ladder for consultant ward rounds by 8 a.m. He had an experience that he reflected on where he was seeing a pediatric patient. That patient had gained neck control, but then because the person had a febrile illness, lost neck control. And then he had this classic diagnosis that he described to his consultant as the loss of head control. And so went his notorious diagnosis of a patient that actually had poliomyelitis. He often considered himself a hard worker before now, but he seemed to have finally understood what hard work was all about. Because in 365 days, he had paid his dues, he got signed up, house job, he railed west to the General Hospital in Iwo, then in Oyo State at that time, to serve his fatherland in what we know as the National Youth Service Corps. Post NYSC, he turned down a number of opportunities. The first one, he abandoned a lecturer 2 job because he wouldn't even qualify for the university accommodation anyway. Also, he would have made history as the first medical officer in a newly opened general hospital, but he declined this because he insisted on staying at the state capital. The only hospital in Calabar with a vacant position was the one along Calabar Road, if you know that place. And of all the hospitals in Nigeria he could have gone to, Dr. Udofia chose Nigeria's first lunatic asylum at 123 Calabar Road. You can imagine, family members were dismayed, his friends were stunned, but what's there? One wondered out loud, maybe even offended the gods, they thought. Working in the psychiatric hospital and living beyond the Calabar Cemetery. I wonder why many asylums are placed just next to the cemetery. He would stay in psychiatry for a month or 2 while awaiting his appointment letter for residency position. will say it into the mic. The citation has a confession, and we have a pope in our midst to grant forgiveness. Owoidoho Odofia had cheated the system. He completed 2 weeks psychiatry posting in medical school with 75% attendance to lectures and clinics. The only thing is he never set foot in a psychiatry ward. How he achieved that, hopefully we'll find out today. He finally discovered psychiatry, and to him it was magic. His entire being and the specialty of perfect blend. With mentors sent from heaven, and the comparative advantage of his personality endowment, he had ensured mastery of the subject. He was formally trained at the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, ARO, which was then still a WHO collaborating center, and also at the Royal Southampton Hospital in Southampton, where he had his his year abroad. He subsequently picked up the fellowships of 2 prestigious colleges, the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. He was the first to complete residency training in psychiatry in the regulation time and in the West Africa College of Physicians. A round of applause for him. He settled down to teach psychiatry to medical students in the University of Calabar in 1986, where he has worked ever since. He has taught psychiatry to thousands of undergraduate students for over 3 decades. Yours mindfully is a proud postgraduate recipient. He has taught postgraduate psychiatry to resident doctors in internal medicine, family medicine, psychiatry, where he has guided and prepared hundreds of residents through their membership examinations, and probably about 40 of them through their fellowship examinations, most of whom are in Calabar, a few in Kano, fewer still in Kaduna, Sokoto, Jos, Zaria, recently Uyo, and our slot in Ilori. So it's a book, sir. Apart from teaching psychiatry to individual doctors, he has been involved for several years in administration. He has been the head of Department of Psychiatry for several years and has served as the CMAC UCTH Calabar for more than 4 years. Owoidoho Odofia has influenced the development of psychiatry, both in direction and momentum in Nigeria. He has served as the faculty secretary psychiatry in the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria for 4 years. He was also faculty chairman for 4 years. He was chief examiner for 4 years, served in the Senate for 15 years, served as an examiner and council member in the West Africa College of Physicians. He has been involved in medical politics even before his first professional exam as a student in the university, and was active throughout residency in his local branch. As a consultant, he was chairman of the MDCAN, that's the Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, Calabar chapter. And his mark has been in the national scene where he has continuously served. He served for 8 years in MDCAN collectively, 4 years as vice president, 2 years as the president. And he served even beyond them. He has been active in the Association of Psychiatrists of Nigeria and has served as president of our prestigious association for 4 years. Let's give him a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, he also represented Central and West Africa on the board of the World Psychiatric Association for several years. As an academician, his interest has been in the field of psychiatric epidemiology, where he has served to develop and standardize several psychiatric instruments. His clinical interest in the last several years has been in psychosomatic medicine. He and his team are working on culture-specific somatic syndromes like internal heat, crawling sensation, which many people in the audience are quite familiar with for cultural reasons. He has received several awards and fellowships and he is an awardee of the membership of the World Psychiatric Association. As you hear all the awards, please give him a round of applause. Distinguished Fellowship of the Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria, DFAPN, let's celebrate him. Distinguished Fellowship of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, DFMC. It's not over. Fellowship of the Nigerian Academy of Medicine, FNA Med. Let's keep clapping, we're not done. And in his lifetime, a hospital ward has been named after him in the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital in Calabar. After over 30 years in Calabar, he was given an opportunity to serve his alma mater, the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, as the college registrar, a position he occupied for 4 momentous years. Yes, thank you very much. You're doing well by clapping right now. During his time, he implemented the digital management system for a residency training program and the examination management portal. He has also managed the changes in curriculum in the exam processes that has resulted in changes in the pass rates, I would assume, for the betterment of candidates. Owedoho Odofe was also at the center when the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria dialogued with the NUC against the advice of several doctors in the country, and at the end to negotiate a direct PhD program to Nigerian doctors who do so desired by passing a dehumanizing master's degree. It was registered when the college introduced the postgraduate MD program to doctors, though doctors would have preferred a PhD degree really. Our distinguished professor was registrar also when the president of Nigeria, and we're all about to clap, signed the Medical Residency Act, and it was his own responsibility to midwife it. Let's acknowledge that by clapping. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with a citation of this distinguished erudite scholar. Professor Owedoho Odofe has created enough time to have a rewarding social life, and you'll be interested in this one. He holds a black belt in the martial arts of Taekwondo, and I'm gladly standing at a safe distance right now. He is happily married and blessed with what he has described as a few sons, even though few is relative. One of them is a consultant, 2 of them are senior registrars. The last one is a sweet adolescent boy. And in child and adolescent psychiatry, I'm particularly excited about that. The final paragraph, ladies and gentlemen, I'm thankful that you are not tired. Colleagues, seniors, juniors, I'm pleased, humbly so, to present our speaker for the Professor Ayo Benete Lecture, Professor Owedoho Odofe, who seems to have been preoccupied with public lectures all through this year. And he has done all sorts of wonderful things, but then we're about to listen to him. What we know, what we knew, and what we want to know. For his valedictory lecture, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Professor Owedoho Odofe. A round of applause for him. I am a tall tree, oh, I am a sweet wind, sweeping the country. I am a river down in the valley, oh, I am a vision, I can see clearly. Anybody ask you who I am, just stand up tall and show me. I'm that star up in the sky, I'm that mountain in the cloud.
Learn the trick. When you have little to say, make sure the citation is long. Sure, that's what the guys did. Thanks for keeping me on notice. Thank you very much. Now, the lecture is, can sit down, please. Okay. Some few slides of maybe I talk about the Ayobinite lecture because I'm happy I'm not the only one who knew Professor Ayobinite personally. There are a few of us still alive and still living and still present here. Jude is, Professor here is one of them. Also, Abiodu, probably, definitely Maruf, Kulate. Okay, thank you. Because you also knew him. But most of us probably just, okay, I know he's also here and our APN president. And then Taiwo Kubintu, Sheikh also. And if you knew him in person, you would know he towered far above many of his contemporaries even at that time. He attended the last APN around December, first weeks of December in Calabar it was. And by February the next year, he had died. He was there in APN with us, did all these things,